Jackie Christie is a familiar name for fans of Basketball Wives, but now she's making headlines for something much more serious. Court documents have surfaced, showing that she could face up to 10 years in prison. On top of that, a shocking $300 million court ruling has put her in a situation that might change everything for her. The big question is, what happened? What are the charges that could land her behind bars for nearly a decade? And does she have any chance of getting out of this mess? Jackie has been a bold, outspoken personality for years, known for her fiery attitude and dramatic moments on Basketball Wives. But this time, the controversy surrounding her isn't about a reality TV feud. It's about something much more serious. She's now caught up in a legal battle that threatens not just her finances, but also her freedom. With a $300 million lawsuit hanging over her and allegations of fraud and financial misconduct, people are wondering, could this be the end of Jackie Christie's career? Let's break down everything we know about this shocking case, how she got into this situation, and what could happen next. Jackie has always been known for stirring up drama, but this time, it's not just about arguments on TV. The rumors started, spreading in the entertainment world about her involvement in shady financial deals. At first, most people didn't take them seriously. It was just gossip. But then a lawsuit surfaced. And it wasn't just any lawsuit. It was a massive $300 million case against her. For years, Jackie has built a reputation as a successful businesswoman. Outside of reality TV, she has tried her hand at different ventures, from fashion to real estate. She often showed off her entrepreneurial skills and claimed to be making smart investments. But behind all the glitz and glamour, was something illegal happening? Court documents suggest that Jackie may have been involved in questionable financial activities that broke the law. One of the biggest accusations against her involves a failed investment deal. Several investors claim that she misled them and took their money under false promises. Sources close to the case say that Jackie exaggerated financial details, made unrealistic guarantees about profits, and may have even faked documents to gain investors' trust. If these accusations are proven, true, she could be in serious legal trouble for fraud and financial mismanagement, but it gets even worse. The lawsuit also claims that Jackie didn't just make bad business deals. She actively used her connections in the entertainment and sports industries to attract investors. Because of her association with celebrities and NBA stars, people trusted her and believed she had the influence to make profitable deals. Some investors now feel like they were tricked into handing over their money because of her high-profile image. According to the lawsuit, Jackie personally benefited from millions of dollars in mismanaged funds. Instead of using the money for business, she allegedly spent it on luxury vacations, expensive shopping sprees, and a lavish lifestyle. If these claims hold up in court, it would explain why the judge ruled against her in such a major way. So how did things spiral out of control to the point where she now owes $300 million and could end up in prison? If you thought things were bad before, this is where it gets even more serious. For months, Jackie has been facing multiple lawsuits from different people, investors, former business partners, and even close associates who claim she tricked them. Some of these cases were quietly settled, meaning she likely paid off people behind the scenes. But one lawsuit in particular refused to go away. A group of high-profile investors, including former NBA executives and entertainment industry insiders, joined forces to take Jackie to court. They weren't just looking for a refund, they were seeking $300 million in damages. At first, Jackie denied everything. She called the accusations lies and claimed people were attacking her out of jealousy. She even suggested that the lawsuit was just a way for people to take advantage of her success. But things changed when the case went to trial. Once in court, the evidence against Jackie was overwhelming. The plaintiff's lawyers presented financial records that suggested Jackie had been falsifying information. They claimed she made her business appear more successful than it really was, promised high returns while secretly moving money into her personal accounts, and used investors' money for personal luxuries like designer clothes, expensive properties, and extravagant vacations. Then, one of the investors testified in court. They claimed Jackie personally reassured them that their money was safe, even though she allegedly knew her business was already falling apart. That testimony, combined with hard financial evidence, sealed Jackie's fate. After weeks of legal proceedings, the court finally made its decision. The ruling was devastating for Jackie. She was found guilty of fraud, breach of contract, and misrepresentation. The judge ordered her to pay $300 million in damages, making it one of the biggest financial penalties ever given to a reality TV star. This ruling wasn't just about money. It completely shattered Jackie's reputation in the business world. Investors, brands, and potential business partners will likely never trust her again. But even worse, this case isn't just about civil penalties. Jackie could also face criminal charges. If the court determines that Jackie intentionally committed fraud, she could be sentenced to 10 years in prison. That's the part that makes this situation even more terrifying for her. A financial loss is one thing, but losing her freedom would be a whole different level of disaster. So, what happens next? Does Jackie have any way to fight back, or is her fate already decided? Legal experts say she does have a few options. She could try to appeal the court's decision and argue that the ruling was too harsh. If she has enough evidence to challenge the verdict, she might be able to reduce the amount she has to pay or even avoid criminal charges. However, appeals are expensive and take time. Given how serious the case is, winning an appeal won't be easy. Another option is for Jackie to settle her debts through negotiations. Sometimes, when people owe large amounts of money, they work out deals with creditors to pay a lower amount, instead of the full sum. But even if she manages to lower the financial penalty, the criminal charges are a different story. If prosecutors decide to press charges for fraud, Jackie will have to defend herself in a criminal trial. And if she loses, she could end up serving real prison time. For Jackie Christie, this situation is nothing short of a nightmare. A $300 million judgment is enough to ruin anyone's life, and the possibility of spending a decade in prison makes things even worse. The reality TV world has seen plenty of scandals, but this one is different. This isn't just about personal drama. It's about legal consequences that could completely destroy Jackie's career, finances, and freedom. Just wait until you hear what's coming next, because this isn't just about money anymore. Jackie Christie could be in serious trouble, facing criminal charges that could put her behind bars for up to 10 years. At first, Jackie was only dealing with civil lawsuits, meaning she was at risk of losing a lot of money, but jail time wasn't on the table. That all changed when prosecutors started digging deeper. What they found completely turned her situation upside down. It all started when investigators from the state's Financial Crimes Division began looking into the accusations against Jackie. Initially, this was just a routine check. When lawsuits involve large amounts of money, government officials often take a closer look. But as they reviewed the case, they started seeing major problems. Sources say Jackie didn't just make bad business choices. She may have committed actual fraud. That's a serious crime. Prosecutors claim she knowingly altered financial documents to make her businesses look more successful than they really were. If true, that's a felony, and it doesn't stop there. If Jackie used emails, phone calls, or bank transfers to trick investors, that could be considered wire fraud. That crime alone can carry a prison sentence of up to 20 years. Then, there's the possibility of money laundering. Some sources say the money she took was moved through multiple bank accounts to hide what was really going on. That would mean additional charges. But the most shocking part? Even after Jackie allegedly knew her businesses were failing, she continued to take investors' money. Prosecutors see this as clear evidence that she was deliberately misleading people for personal gain. If they can prove it in court, it could be enough to send her to prison. Jackie isn't giving up without a fight, though. She's hired a top legal team that's working around the clock to try to delay or even dismiss the case. Right now, her lawyers are focusing on two main arguments. First, they claim Jackie wasn't the mastermind behind any illegal activities. They argue that other people in her business circle made the financial decisions, and she's just caught in the middle. Second, they're saying there was no criminal intent. They want to prove that Jackie simply made bad business choices, but never meant to commit fraud. But here's the problem. Prosecutors aren't buying it. They believe they have enough evidence to convict her. Legal experts say even if she avoids the full 10-year sentence, she could still end up serving some prison time, and it gets worse. If this case goes to trial, more details about her financial dealings could come out. That might drag other celebrities into the scandal. So, what's next? Will Jackie face a full criminal trial, or will she cut a deal to protect herself? Stay tuned because this case is only getting more dramatic. Jackie's legal troubles didn't come out of nowhere. They've been building for years. Everything exploded when she was hit with a massive $300 million court ruling. That judgment shook her world and put her at risk of losing everything she had worked for. But how did she even get to this point? What exactly did she do that led to such a crushing legal defeat? To understand, we have to go back to when Jackie's business empire was thriving, before anyone suspected anything shady was happening. For years, Jackie presented herself as a smart, successful entrepreneur. She built a reputation as someone who knew how to make money and take advantage of opportunities. Whether it was real estate, fashion, or brand deals, she always seemed to be in control. With her husband, former NBA player Doug Christie, by her side, she was seen as one half of a power couple. Unlike some reality stars, Jackie wasn't just chasing fame. She wanted real financial success and positioned herself as a business mogul. Over time, she launched several ventures. Luxury real estate investments, she claimed to be involved in high-value property deals, fashion and clothing brands. Some of these were marketed to high-end buyers, consulting and mentorship programs. She promoted herself as someone who could help others build wealth. But behind the scenes, things weren't as solid as they seemed. While Jackie portrayed herself as a wealthy and successful businesswoman, insiders started noticing problems. That's when the lawsuits started rolling in. At first, they seemed like minor business disputes, arguments over contracts, disagreements about money owed, and failed deals. But as more people came forward, a clear pattern began to emerge. Some of the biggest allegations against Jackie included false promises to investors. Some investors say Jackie misled them about how much profit they would make. They were promised big returns, only to find their money had vanished. Fake business ventures. Some sources claim Jackie was raising money for businesses that never actually existed, using investor money for personal expenses. One of the most damaging claims was that Jackie took money meant for business growth and spent it on her own luxury lifestyle. As more people spoke out, Jackie was hit with multiple lawsuits. At first, she denied everything. She claimed these were just angry former business partners trying to ruin her reputation, but the evidence against her was overwhelming. Then came the devastating $300 million court ruling. A judge ruled that Jackie had committed financial misconduct and ordered her to pay a staggering amount in damages. This wasn't just a regular lawsuit loss. This was one of the biggest financial penalties ever seen in celebrity business lawsuits. And it completely changed her life. After the ruling, things fell apart fast. Her assets were frozen. The court took steps to seize her properties, bank accounts, and anything valuable to recover the money. Her reputation was destroyed. Former business partners and investors cut ties with her. People in the industry stopped taking her seriously as a businesswoman. Her personal life was affected. The stress of the scandal put pressure on her marriage and personal relationships. Now, with the possibility of criminal charges, things could get even worse for Jackie. If prosecutors prove their case, she might not just lose money, she could lose her freedom. Rumors started flying that Doug Christie was trying to separate himself from the controversy. People speculated he was worried about how it might affect his reputation and career. Losing $300 million was already a disaster, but things took an even darker turn when law enforcement got involved. Prosecutors began reviewing the case and found that Jackie's actions might not just be bad business decisions, they could be criminal offenses. Now she's facing the real possibility of spending up to 10 years in prison. But is she truly guilty, or is she just being made an example of? The next phase of this case could be the most intense yet, and whatever happens could completely change her life. Once Jackie's financial empire started collapsing, it was only a matter of time before investigators took a closer look at her business dealings. The massive lawsuit was bad enough, but civil court cases are very different from criminal charges. Prosecutors started digging through financial records, business contracts, and investor complaints. They needed to determine if Jackie had simply made poor decisions or if she had crossed the line into fraud, embezzlement, and financial crimes. What they found did not look good for her. One of the most serious accusations against Jackie is that she misused investor money for personal expenses instead of growing her businesses. People who invested believed they were putting their money into profitable ventures, expecting returns, profits, and successful projects. But according to multiple sources, Jackie may have taken that money and spent it on luxury items. She allegedly used investor funds for expensive designer bags, extravagant vacations, and high-end shopping sprees. Some reports even suggest she used the money to keep up her celebrity lifestyle, buying luxury cars, staying in five-star hotels, and throwing expensive parties. Investigators also discovered that instead of reinvesting money into businesses, she may have transferred large sums into her personal accounts and those of close associates. The more they looked into it, the more suspicious things became. One of the most shocking discoveries was that some of her so-called businesses didn't even exist. That's right. Several of the companies under her name were nothing more than shell corporations. They had no real offices, no employees, and no revenue streams. These businesses appeared to be created solely for the purpose of moving money around and making everything seem legitimate. That's when things took a serious turn. Once authorities realized Jackie's financial empire might be built on deception, they started preparing for criminal charges. What had started as a civil lawsuit was quickly becoming something much bigger. Jackie's situation became even more serious when federal investigators stepped in. At first, this seemed like just a financial dispute between her and investors, but as authorities started seeing evidence of possible fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering, it became a full-blown criminal case. Now Jackie is officially facing the possibility of spending up to 10 years in prison. Prosecutors are reportedly considering multiple charges, including fraud for misleading investors and misrepresenting business opportunities, wire fraud for using electronic transactions to move suspicious funds, and money laundering if she transferred money through fake businesses to hide its real origin. If convicted, these charges could lead to serious prison time. And when the government comes after someone for financial crimes, they don't go easy. Courts take these offenses seriously, and high-profile individuals often receive harsh sentences to set an example. Just look at other celebrities who have been caught in financial scandals. Once the feds get involved, it's not just about losing money, it's about losing freedom. Despite all this, Jackie isn't giving up without a fight. Even though she has lost a massive court battle and now faces criminal charges, she insists she did nothing wrong. Her legal team is working around the clock to challenge the accusations. They argue that investors were aware of the risks and that Jackie never intentionally misled anyone. Her lawyers are also trying to appeal the $300 million judgment, saying it was excessive and unfair. There are even rumors that her legal team is negotiating with prosecutors to reduce the charges in exchange for a financial settlement. But the question remains, can Jackie actually win this case? Because from what's being reported, the evidence against her is piling up fast. Authorities are cracking down on celebrity fraud cases like never before, and Jackie may be running out of options. But the legal battle is just one part of the story. If you thought the financial scandal was bad, wait until you hear how it's affecting Jackie's personal life. Jackie Christie has spent years building her reputation as a strong, independent businesswoman. She has always been proud of being in charge and controlling her own success. But now, she's in the fight of her life, and everything is at stake: her financial future, her reputation, and her freedom. The outcome of this case will decide whether she continues her life as a public figure or spends the next decade behind bars. And here's where things get even more complicated. As this legal drama unfolds, some of the people closest to Jackie are starting to back away. Her friends and family are reportedly choosing sides. Some are standing by her, convinced she is being unfairly targeted. Others are staying quiet, trying to avoid being dragged into the mess. Even her husband, Doug Christie, has been noticeably silent. There are whispers that he's distancing himself to protect his own career and finances, making sure he doesn't get caught up in the scandal. Could this legal fight destroy Jackie's marriage? Could she lose everything, including the people who were once closest to her? One thing is clear, this story is far from over. New updates are coming in constantly, and Jackie's future is hanging by a thread. The big question now is, will she find a way to clear her name, or is she about to become the next celebrity to fall from grace?